my friends, we are back with Junk Journal January, day 11, Eclectic. A group of ideas or items, a group of pretty much anything that you pull from one, let's say, category. Like in junk journaling or in journaling, we could use categories such as then pulling an idea from a bullet journal, pulling an idea from a writing journal, an art journal, a junk journal, whatever other kind of journals that there are out there. And then from those journals, you can pull in like shabby chic, you could pull in grungy, you know, and just pull all these ideas from all the different categories and making them into one. Today, we are going to work in our journal on these two pages, and this is a book page, this is a cleanup page. I have, from my bullet journal, a tracker I didn't use that I had spent all this time making, and we're going to use that in the journal today as some background paper here. So we'll put that in there. We are going to also take the time and we're going to, of course, you know it, ink up the edges of our journal tracker. Let's see. So let's keep the pink up there. Here we go. I like that all of these numbers are on here. I like that there's dots on here. Look how nicely this paper takes the ink. It's just like it's meant to be ripped up and put in our junk journal, right? So on this side, let's do the same thing. Let's just keep the pink. I like the pink. Now these two pieces of paper will be really handy sometime if I want to add just some numbers to my page. So we'll save those. So for our junk journal today, we are now including elements from a bullet journal. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to glue those down, and let's see, paper on paper that will just go ahead and use a glue stick. Neither one of them is heavy or textured, so the glue stick should hold them just fine. So I have over here, and I'm praying my camera, my phone does not shut off on. Again, I have it set to do not disturb, so we shall see what happens. Okay, so we're going to glue that down right there, and then we'll glue this down on the other side. Oh, what I could have done now that I'm adding glue to it is I could have added this to it instead of this and had something different, but that's quite all right. So what if I wanted to add elements of a writing journal? What I would do is I would take my pen. See, I better take a permanent pen because who knows what we're going to be adding to this journal. So I would, for a writing journal, I would pretend I had a whole blank page here, which I should have done before I put this down. And I would put, okay, today is, and what is today? Today is Wednesday. I would put the date down if I can get my pen to work. Wednesday, January 11th, prompt, Eclectic. So rather than continue to write this all out and be precise with what I'm saying, I'm just going to do some ischemic writing and get some writing on my page. There. That can be from a writing journal. So now we have bullet journal, writing journal. How about we add some art journal elements to it? So I think I want to start with, you've got it, pink ink. So let's get our ink out, and then we're going to have to add some green ink. And we'll get a brush, a little bit of water, and we'll just water this down, and we'll add some ink here and there and start what would be the beginnings of an art journal page. So we'll just add this in here. Goes nicely on this bullet journal paper. And then we want to add some green. I have Daler Rowney sap green. A little drop of it in there. Clean our brush and then add a little green. Probably a little darker than what I would want. I didn't have any choices when I was picking out some of my inks when I was purchasing them. They didn't have very many choices for green. I would have rather had like a mossy green because I would use that more than I would maybe this sap green. But the sap green is pretty. What green isn't? Well, there are some greens I don't really care for. So there we have some green on our page. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of gesso to it. Or do we want to add more color first? Let's just add some blue to it. How about Daler Rowney Processed Cyan? Little bit of blue, never hurt anything, right? Those are our colors for our journal. So we'll just add some blue. Oh yeah, blue in here. Getting to be pretty nice, pretty colorful. Let's turn our paint this way, go sideways instead of across all the time. Change our directions up. I like that these inks dry pretty fast. So there's that. Now how about we add a little gesso to it. Blend this all together. We'll just use a card to do it with. And we'll just spread on a little bit. My ink is not totally dry, so it's bleeding. And you know what? I don't care. I think that is going to be fine to have it blended a little bit like that. So there we have this. Looking pretty cool to me. Making a very, very pretty background. Now I will take the time to dry the gesso before I add my next layer. So now what if I take my vintage photo crayon and add a little bit of brown in different spots and grunge this up a little bit so we get the grungy style going on. Right now it's really bright, it's really pretty, but I want to add a little bit of brown to it. So I'll just take my crayon, put my color on, and then I'll take my brush with my water and move that color around. Get a little bit of brown down on this side. So that's pretty. I think brown is pretty. I like brown. It's one of my favorite colors. And then I want to dry that up too. Now I find a stencil. Let's go ahead and add this big one here. And for ink, I want to use my Forest Moss. Okay, do you see what we did? We went directly from bullet journal, writing journal, art journal. Now we're into mixed media. It's just like one thing just leads into another. So let us continue with some mixed media. And one of my favorite stencils is this dot stencil. Also, one of my favorite things to add to a page is some soft matte texture paste. And if I can find my palette knife real quick. And I'm going to add some dots to my page with this texture paste. And then we have to let that dry. But I'm loving all of the depth that this is bringing to my journal pages. You can see through to the first layer that we added with all these numbers. It's so cool to have that in the background. You can see our ischemic writing for our writing journal. It's here. You can still see the date and everything up here. And then all the different layers that we're adding with this. This is what has become to be my style, is to add layers and layers and layers to get to a page that I like. I could go to digitals. There are some absolutely beautiful digitals that are out there. But when I make my journals, I may add a few digitals, but I tend to rely more on making an art page out of my pages rather than, not that digitals are not art. They are absolutely art. There is a big process that goes into those beautiful things. But this is my style, and we all eventually develop what our style would be. Okay, so while we're waiting for those dots to dry, we are going to move right along and jump into junk journaling. And one of the, I would say, the basic supplies for junk journaling are book pages and pockets, tuck spots. So we have tags and different kinds of tags here. These things have already been created and put in my stash, and then I can just go and pull from them. So all I've done is taken a piece of book paper, made it to the width that I wanted, folded up the bottom, folded down the top, and rounded the corners and inked it up around the edges. The tag is just a tag that'll fit down inside. These two tags have been, I think, gifted to me. But anyhow, they're just like cereal boxes or something that's had some neutral papers added to them, and then and they're coffee stains. So we're going to add these to our journal too. So we're going to go ahead and take our journal, put it aside. And while we're doing that, we need to add some gesso to all of these. And then I want to add some color to them. So I'm just going to take my card and put on a little layer of gesso, both front and back of these cards, tags. And then I also want to put some on this book paper that I have. Now, it's not necessary to do the inside. This would be a good place to add some gesso. And this flap coming down, let's do the flap here. What the heck, we'll do a little bit on the inside too. We may as well just do the whole thing. Goodness. Okay, so just a nice little layer there and a nice little layer here. Although I think it's going to be glued to my page there, but just in case. And then we'll take the tag that comes with it and we'll add some gesso to that too. Now, the reason why I do like to add the gesso to like a tag to begin with is if I'm going to add ink, my ink is going to spread much nicer on a layer of gesso than it's going to be some old book paper. I will take probably my heat gun, now that I have all the gesso on it that I want, and dry these all off. Now I think the main color that I want to add to all of these is the green, because it's certainly not the dominant color on the page that I have been building. This is going to be glued up like this, so we'll just add some green and then see where we go from there. Okay, I have everything with some green ink on it, and I'm not quite sure where I'm going to go from there with this, but I think we'll hold off adding another color for a moment until we see what we really want to do. Let's bring our journal back. Okay, so we're going to leave our dots white, and then we would add onto this page our pocket that we have. I think I'll make my pocket into a tuck spot, maybe even. And I'm going to have it on this page. All right, I'm back. I have my cards done. I have stitched all the way around them, and I have decided to put my pocket on here and make my pocket into a tuck spot. So I'm going to take my tacky glue. I am going to glue down the back side left-hand edge and along the bottom. And that will create the tuck spot. And so I'll glue that on my page like this. And then I want to make my pocket a pocket, so I'll take this bottom flap and I will glue that on both sides so I have a pocket here So now I have a pocket and a tuck spot. Now, to decorate the pocket, I have some free fussy cut images from my other class that I'm doing. That is, you probably heard of it, Wanderlust. And there's some free items that they have given, and I'm going to include them because I feel that's including some art journal, more art journal to my journal, because a lot of the times with the art journals that I see, they have images of people in it. So I don't normally do the images of people, but I thought this lady was quite interesting as she is thinking about eclectic and how she feels about eclectic. And so I thought she would be really cute on our journal. And I have this piece of scrap paper. What side do I want? I think I want just the green side. And I'm going to add that as a layer behind my lady. I'm probably thinking that the lady needs a name. I'm not quite sure what I would name her. And then behind that also, I want to put some cheesecloth. There we go. And then this blue circle on top of that. So I'm going to glue her down all but her head. I don't want to glue her head because her head, if it's glued down, is going to have to be under my flap, and I don't want it to be under my flap. I want the flap to be under her head and her head as used as a tuck spot. Now she is also going to hold beautiful rose here beside her. This is just a little pink rose, and I'm pretty much adding it for the color. All right, and let's get a paper towel here. Sop up some of this excess glue, and that completes our front of our pocket, but we probably should add something across here. So this is a journal, and I thought maybe across the top here, a nice little pen would look pretty cute, right? And we should add some color underneath that, or something. Let me just bring my little basket over and see what I can find in here that might look good up top of that as a header on our page. I have found this piece of ledger paper that would look pretty cute up here, and we're going to glue that down right over the top, and then our pen can go over top of that. So this is the pen that she may have used to do the asemic writing that's on the page here. So inside of this pocket now, we have this little tag here. We need to do something with one side of it. This side is the lighter side, so I'll save that side for journaling. And then on this side, we'll add, although this little tag that I pulled out would fit perfectly inside our pocket. And it says, "Art is an experience, not an object." It's a quote by Robert Motherwell. And that, if I just add a little bit of ink to the back, I was going to put it on the opposite page, and I might still. But I'm thinking it also would be a nice little tag for inside here. And we could put it on the front of our, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it on the front of here of our tag that's going to go down inside there. We're going to glue that down, and our quote will be on top of this little tag, tucked down inside our pocket with journaling room on the back. So that's going to go down inside there. This is going to be tucked down behind her head. And now for the other side, I have these other two tags. How about we make a corner tuck spot out of some, this will work. It's just some cardstock with some print on it, and that will make a nice little corner tuck spot. So let us add some ink to the side of that. And look how easy corner tuck spots are. Very, very easy. And I like the way that looks with that. That, possibly the butterfly. So let us go ahead and glue that along the left side and the bottom. We're going to let that dry while we work on our two tags here. They can be journaled on the back. Let's see, this would lend to it, the top part, but not the bottom. So let's go ahead and take and cover that. And I have this basket of scraps of coffee stain copy paper that we probably can find some pieces out of. So if we just tear it down to size, and that would probably be all right, and this would be all right. And ink up around the edges, and I'm going to just cut my threads so that they're all the same length, or at least closer to the same length, and then I'll use some tacky glue to glue that on. And that will probably take some time sitting under a book because I'm trying to glue it onto stitching, and sometimes that's hard to get it to stick. So we have one, and we just need enough paper to do another one. This is a little bit darker paper, but it'll be fine. Okay, ink up around the edge of that, and then we'll glue this down in place, and then our backs will be done. We just have to decide what we want to do to decorate the fronts. Again, some gentle persuasion to get this to stick. So now we have the front of both of our tags to decide what we would like to add to them. I've added this rose. Now I have some flowers left over from yesterday that would be quite pretty on our page. Plus I have this pink butterfly with part of the freebies, and a leaf over here. That's okay if I find a quote. Could use a number. I love to add numbers and addresses and different things to my clusters that I make. I like that. I think this is quite appropriate. It says, keep going. You start with one medium in your journal and you just keep going, and you add more and you add more and you add more. So keep going. I don't know about the butterfly on there. So let's just take this paper and another flower with the leaf. And then this says keep going. And then I think we'll take this and we're going to tear it, and we're going to add that up in here somewhere. How about we add it like there? And the same thing with this one, we can add it here. A little bit of ledger paper scrap that I have would be kind of cute on there. And if I could find, okay, how about some of this paper that we used for our tuck spot could be added onto there like that. There, I'm happy with those clusters. The cluster could use a maybe we'll just quit. That's good. That's good. Cluster doesn't need anything else. Leave it alone. So we'll add some ink to our edges of our scraps of paper that we're putting down. Everything is all inked up. Let's go ahead and add some glue and get this all glued down. Got a little circle on here. The next was going to be our piece of coffee stained paper that will cover that edge there. And then we have this piece of paper that matches what our tuck spot was made out of. And we'll put that up on top here. And then we have, that's going to go over there. Our flower needs snap. So we will poke a hole in the center as close as we can get to the center of the flower. And yesterday we used a green snap, and I think we're going to use a green snap again today. So there's the snap on that one. Let's get a snap on this one too. Let's get another snap out for that one. We need a flat one, and then we need a rounded one for them to work together. There, and there's a snap for that one. We're going to put this away and close it before it gets spilled. And then we'll glue our flower down along with our leaf. Our paper towel, sop up some of that excess glue. Spread out to the edges of the flower. And then our little keep going. This is where I'll have to look and see. Do I want to add something behind it? We'll just put it on there. That makes a cute little tag. Now for the other one, we'll just get everything all glued down. Again, we'll start with this half circle here and put that in place. And then our coffee stain paper. our piece of ledger paper, and then our flower with the cute little snap. And then we'll press that down, use our paper towel to get rid of any excess glue. Get our leaf on there, and then our address, or it's a date, I guess. It's not an address, it's a date. It's December 17th, 1913, and we'll put that right here. There, so actually the front of these tags could very easily be journaled on here and here. And there's the back. So we have 2 tags made. Bring our journal back, and they will fit nicely, I think. They're catching on the that embossing paste. And this little piece here, this coffee stained copy paper, also wanted to catch. So we have to be careful. I like to have things loose, but if they're going to be in danger of ripping or whatever, then I'll glue them down flat. And this is just such an instance where I need to glue them down flat so that they don't catch. So that one will go in there, and let's see if this one fits. This one also has this that needs glued down, and let's see if it fits or if 2 of them are too many. I'm going to put it in there for now, but I'm kind of thinking, well, it'll be all right. All right, so anyhow, we have our 2 tags made. We have this done. We have to have something on our tuck spot over here. So let's take our tags out so that we can work on this tuck spot. And I do have like the butterfly that I had pulled out. I have another pen that I have pulled out. And I did have a pencil also. You know, these are all journaling items, right? That we would need to work in our journal. So we'll add some ink to our pencil. And I think we're going to have to figure out some layering papers to go behind these items, these eclectic items. So if we took some of the blue, oh yeah, that's really pretty. It has a nice little fern on it. Let's kind of get more of a jagged edge going on here, and then ink that up and glue that down right here. That dresses that up. Then we can add our pencil. The pencil is a definite. I just think the pencil is adorable. I don't know why. I don't know why. And then this pen here. Let's see, how do we want to lay it? We want to lay it like that. I think that should go on there. And then the butterfly with some cheesecloth behind it. I feel that's my eclectic element right there, that butterfly on the cheesecloth. We had writing utensils here, and then I changed it up to a bug. I like the butterfly. So there, I think that pocket looks pretty cute. When I do the flip through of the journal, if I've added anything, I will point it out. But as it stands just like that, I'm very happy with our eclectic page in our junk journal today. So, oh, we have this tuck spot over here. Yes, 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 I forgot about that. And that's where that one tag can go rather than squeezing them both in here. Perfect. There we are. Okay. Thanks for watching again. Thanks for following along with me. I truly, truly appreciate it. I'm loving all the comments and the likes. You guys are so kind. This is just fun for me to do for Junk Journal January. I am loving the prompts. I love my little journal, and I love you guys. So without you guys being here, and your nice comments and your support and everything, I would have a hard time keeping up every day with the prompts and the videos. But being that I know that you're out there and you're waiting for the next video, it encourages me, it inspires me, and moves me along. So thank you so very much. We shall see you again soon. You have a great day. Bye now.